brothers and sisters. It is a joy and a privilege to share this moment with you today. As I look at each face here, I see stories, I see journeys, I see the beauty of life, and in some cases, perhaps the scars of battles fought. And that is exactly what I want to talk about. The battles, the moments when life tests us in ways that seem insurmountable. Let me tell you a story. A man of wisdom and experience known as Elias shared an account that echoes universal truths about human resilience, loss, and the unshakable strength that lies within each of us, even in the face of the deepest scars. On the stage of an ancient auditorium, illuminated by beams of light dancing in the suspended dust, Elias raised his eyes to the audience. He did not just see faces, he saw stories, journeys, the intrinsic beauty of life, and in some cases, the scars of battles fought. It was these battles, the moments when life tests us in ways that seem overwhelming, that he wanted to share. The shadow of pain and the lonely journey. Elias vividly recalled a time when pain seemed like a constant shadow, an inseparable companion. He had dedicated years to a project, a passionate endeavor that was more than just a career. It was his legacy, the fruit of years of study and dedication. His son, Lucas, a brilliant young man with a promising future, had been his greatest encourager. Lucas shared his vision, discussed the nuances of each step, and saw in that venture not just his father's success, but the fulfillment of a shared dream. Elias saw Lucas as the continuation of everything he had built, the mind that would take his ideas to even greater heights. Yet, life has a peculiar way of reminding us of human fragility. Elias remembered that cold dawn, the phone ringing incessantly. He was hundreds of miles from home, immersed in commitments that demanded his full attention. The voice on the other end, trembling, could barely utter the words, "There's been a terrible accident. Your son didn't make it." The ground seemed to vanish beneath his feet. His mind, so accustomed to processing information and solving problems, collapsed. His wife, Clara, on the phone, tried to describe the arrangements, the first steps in this new and painful reality, but everything was a blur. Colleagues and friends who had also received the news offered to take him home. But Elias refused. He needed that time alone. He needed the road, the silence that only the solitude of a long journey could provide. He needed to reconcile himself with something far greater than the immediate pain. He needed to reconcile with existence itself, with the meaning of it all. And in those hours, across those hundreds of miles, a subtle, yet undeniable presence accompanied him. It was not an audible voice, but a certainty in his heart. There were moments of rage, of questioning, of despair. But amid the storm, an inexplicable peace began to emerge. It was not the absence of pain, but the conviction that he was not alone. And when he arrived home 2 days later, exhausted and still in shock, Clara looked at him with tear-filled eyes and said, "I will never get over this." With a trembling voice, but a strength he did not know he possessed, Elias embraced her and said, "My love, we must find a way. For years, I've spoken about resilience, about the ability to rise again. If that is not enough for us now, how can we continue to inspire others?" The pain was overwhelming, but he knew he could not let it consume him. He had to move forward. A few days later, he embarked on a series of pre-scheduled commitments in a distant city. It was a new challenge, but Elias decided to use it as a springboard to reach new heights, to channel his pain into a greater purpose. Ike's The Choice of Resilience. Elias, from the height of his wisdom, explained to those present, "Suffering and adversity have the power to do one of two things in people's lives. Either they draw them closer to the essence of who they are and their deepest connection to the meaning of life, or they push them away, leaving them bitter and disillusioned. Today, I do not know what each of you is facing, Elias continued. It may be the loss of a loved one, a devastating financial setback, an illness that drains your energy, or the disillusionment of a dream that seemed unattainable. But my word of encouragement is this: hold on to your essence. Hold on to what defines you. He urged them to cling to the truth that they are capable of overcoming. To cling to the promise that even in the greatest adversity, there is an inner strength that propels them forward. The enemy of the soul, whether doubt, fear, or despair, may have shot an arrow straight to the heart. But in the midst of pain, in the midst of struggle, Elias reminded everyone, not all is lost when you still have faith. He invited reflection on the transformative power and the incredible peace that can be found by connecting with inner strength and the wisdom born of experience. This perspective can change everything. Yes, life can be painful, but pain does not mean the ability to love and be loved has become useless. Pain can be an opportunity for the enemy to pull a person away from their own strength. But Elias pleaded, if you are in pain, let it push you into the arms of your own courage. The wisdom of affliction. Elias asked the audience if they had ever faced adversity, if they had ever been in a very difficult situation. He was certain that everyone had, just as many of the great figures of history and literature who inspire us had. Great thinkers have taught that tribulation, though painful, is often necessary for human growth. Elias quoted an ancient philosopher who described how he faced afflictions so great that he felt overwhelmed beyond his strength, to the point of despairing even of life. He said it felt like he had received a death sentence. But that thinker's conclusion was remarkable. Indeed, we felt within ourselves that we had received the sentence of death. But this happened so that we might not rely on ourselves, but on the greater strength that drives us, the one capable of raising us from the ashes. He was saying that these difficult times taught him to lose confidence in his own limitations and place all his faith in the power of resilience that resides within each of us. Elias acknowledged that we all go through hard times, that we face seasons where it seems everything is against us and pain becomes a familiar companion. A wise poet once wrote, "It was good for me to be afflicted, that I might learn your decrees." And Elias always wondered, how can suffering be good? How can there be anything good in pain? But the truth, he asserted, is this: affliction does not just reveal character, it shapes it. Elias believed that affliction, though painful, is necessary for personal growth. Because if not for the struggles you face, how would you know that life will never abandon or forsake you, but will always offer a new opportunity? If not for illness in the body, how would you know that through inner strength you can find healing and resilience? If not for financial difficulties, how would you know that creativity and adaptability are the greatest providers? Sometimes, troubles can be a blessing, my friends, Elias concluded. So take courage, no matter what you are facing. A cry for understanding and transformation. Then, Elias invited everyone to reflect. Dear life, he recited, like a collective prayer, you are worthy of all my praise and devotion. If trials oppress us, our resilience and capacity for learning lift us up. Though the pressures of life crush us, through our courage and determination, we will overcome. The situations we face may sometimes be tragic and painful, but we look to our inner strength. Through resilience and courage, we are more than conquerors. May your intrinsic will, the force that drives us to grow, be fulfilled in my life, Elias continued. If the trial I face is to mold me into a better version of myself, so be it. If the trial I face is to strengthen my faith in myself and my character, so be it. If the trial I face is to make me more patient, more self-aware, more grateful, so be it. Whatever your purpose in allowing me to face difficulties, accomplish in me what you desire, he cried. Transform me, renew me, teach me. Whatever the goal, I surrender to my own capacity to overcome. In moments of anguish, may the cry for clarity be heard. May the light of understanding not hide on the day of affliction. May the mind incline to itself. When it calls, may the answer come quickly. May our cry be heard, Elias prayed. When we face difficulties, when we are in trouble, may our inner strength free us and be our help. Timeless wisdom tells us, my brothers and sisters, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If Elias had to face hard times, may it be for his own glory, for his own growth. He prayed that they would use challenges to build their character, that they would use these afflictions to strengthen faith in themselves, that they would understand that sometimes life allows afflictions in their journey so they can grow spiritually, so they learn to connect with their essence more deeply, that they would realize that life cares more about character than comfort, that it cares more about their growth as human beings than about the material blessings they receive, that it cares more about the state of their hearts than their level of comfort. In his epistles, another great thinker wrote, "In this you rejoice, though now for a little while, if necessary, you have been grieved by various trials. These have come so that the tested genuineness of your faith, more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise, glory, and honor when your true essence is revealed. As you face various trials, may the result be greater self-confidence. May the result of your trials be a stronger faith." Elias prayed that every affliction would lead them to personal maturity, that every affliction would leave them with a deeper desire to connect with their own strength, because they knew they could not navigate this life relying only on their own limitations. Timeless wisdom tells us, the righteous cry out, and life hears them. It delivers them from all their troubles. Life is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Elias celebrated his own existence and thanked life for hearing his cry. May he be glorified now and forever, in the name of his own journey. Amen.